When I awoke the following morning, Suzato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last, one that I'll remember for the rest of my days. Okay. We're at the home stretch. It's the trial. Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. Otherwise, I gotta say, best thing about the Ace Attorney universe, you don't have to wear a suit or anything if you have to stand trial. Like, I'm on trial for murder. Let me dress how I want, you know? So where's your friend then? Sorry? You know, in the fancy dress. Suzato, or however you say it. I don't know. Miss Suzato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up. I'm turning this shit down. There we go. You alright with that, are you? Forget about me if you like. Go and see her off. It's fine. It's not as though Miss Suzato and I won't meet again. One day. Even so. But you know, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Good morning, it's... hi, Iris. How are you feeling, Jenny? Did you manage to sleep? Meow. Iris, what are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy? Waggy! Great way to show your support, kitty. Haha. Let him have a nose around. What I'm gonna do? Oh, that reminds me. I bought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Runo? Jenny? Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Nah, always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. Jesus. Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities. Let's not go there. Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning, and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move. Huh? The bad news was a weather report? What's the good news? So I hope that Susie made a train to Dover, and that the train hasn't delayed on its way to the port. Gosh, yes. Alright then, so what's the good news? Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon. So even if the train is late, it should be able to make up the time later. That's it, just weather? That is good news, is it? I asked for the news, not the weather. I couldn't give a monkey's, really. If only all good news was cancelled out the bad. And look, this trial has made the headlines, too. Pawnbroker perishes and Picpus plunder, see? How'd you like that? Well, let them say what they want. See it if I care. I can't because you're cower in your face. Don't worry, Runa will show everyone that this headline is nonsense. I will? And then, in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be... Discharged diver is dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Runo? Oh, yes, let's hope so. Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it? It's like she was still here. Quit telling everyone I'm dead! Today's paper. How's that gonna be relevant? The murder happened yesterday. Good luck then, Runo. I'll do what I can. Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. It's a gun! I'll be by your side your whole time, giving you moral support and encouragement. I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest. But, thank you, Iris. It's very kind of you. Oh yeah, Iris. Yes, Ginny? Well, I was wondering, is all about Sholmes. Did they fix him up all right? Yes. The operation was a great success. But, well, he still hasn't come around yet. Eh? I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up. I'm sure Greg's gonna let us know the moment there's news. Oh, right. No Suzato-san and no Mr. Sholmes. It's all down to me today, to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime. Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense, the trial's about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom. It's time then. Yes, let's go, Gina. Iris. Lead the way, Runo. Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. Well, I have to believe her from start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that a man's katana is the soul. Soul. 17th of April, 10 a.m. Here we go. Who let that child into this courtroom? In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. Wait, the Queen. So, is this like... Is Queen Victoria still the Queen at this point? I thought this was like Edwardian times. The trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. Lord Van Zieks. My lord. Remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from public prosecution service? It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? In what one might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government. Really? Yet today you choose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. Just a simple case! I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel. There are 2 types of person I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. He means Mr. McGilded, who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago. Yes, I just about managed to work that out. Thank you. Magnus McGilded. If I known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him. And secondly, even more loathsome, those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies, only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East, the Nipponese. Ugh. Did he really just say that? Racist buck. He means you now, Runo. I actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Iris. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? That torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zieks' eyes. Was that directed solely at me? Or was he talking about all Japanese people? Yeah, he's racist, dude. He's racist. Alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Zieks. So your reason is because you hate the rich and you're racist. Got it. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all of London's malefactors. Your lordship is too kind. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Oh hey, the maid is back. I like that character. I like her. Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defendant? Former lieutenant of the British Army here, don't you know? Oh, sorry, former lieutenant of the British Army here, don't you know? Chaps like me were born right here. Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think. Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely, absolutely everything, and I'm ready for it.
I don't understand it. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible, but could I have?
Women indispensable in society. Stop. Female-centric future awaits. Stop. Oh. Hey, it's the Communist Revolutionary. Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Is something wrong, Runo? Oh, not exactly. It's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these Gerbers. Almost all of them, in fact. Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? Small town. Seriously, London is very small. Frickin' England is a small-ass country. But it is quite strange. The jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know? So I've been led to believe. But something tells me I'm being duped. Smosh isn't real. How can they have 6 million likes when there are only 7 million people on the planet? Now, Lord Vensix,
the court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case.
As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. You said that the last 2 trials, buddy. The victim, Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents the photographic print of the crime scene. As the court will observe, there was a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near-instant death. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. And what's that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say.
Oh.
The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord.
Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please.
The autopsy report has been entered into the court record. The crime scene photograph has been entered into the court record. I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. The victim, Mr. Windybank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. Well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Isn't that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway? She's one of those filthy tramps all over the slums of the East End. It was only a matter of time before she got blood on her hands. Then, see, it's all comes back to classism. We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive. My learned Nipponese friend, it is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses.
Good gracious.
After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. pitiful pickfuss or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth.
The court will take the floor plan and firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zeeks. Zeeks?
At once, my lord. The crime scene floor plan has been entered into the court record. Windybank's gun. Finally, I can examine that gun. There are signs of a single discharge. Why that word? This isn't good.
I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Runo.
I think that's because it has. Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Windybank on the 16th April of this year. Those are the guys! Those are the fucking thugs! They're silhouettes! What the hell? Not even trying. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court.
Name's Nash Skulkin. Operation as a buddy. Professional buddy.
Name's Ringo Skulkin. Occupation's, same as him.
Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector.
That's right. We're what they call
the Three Skulkin Brothers.
What?
What are you looking at me like that for? Don't lump in with you lot. Cold blimey, that's cold. Don't you know what we're going through?
It's our older bruv. Lost contact with him we have. So we're scouring every shady corner of the capital.
And then last night we come across you, the very spit of the book. Ain't that right, Ringo?
He is, Nash. He is, the very spit of him.
So we decided then we was gonna call you
Big Bruv Sulky. I thought it was Skulkin.
Come on, leave it out, you toe.
Sulky Skulkin. And that's before he's run out of chips.
Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson.
Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias.
What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand.
The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft.
Huh. Thieves, are they, these three?
No, my lord. No, my lord. Begging your pardon, but please don't let me in with these lot. 2 nights ago, these two brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle. And in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime.
By Jove, you mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence!
Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder. Oh, sure, they aren't suspected of it. Fucking prejudice.
Order!
The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future. With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow.
Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw.
Happy down. 'Cause a skulkin's never skulkin'.
Get out of it. Oh, brother.
We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the gaff store was ajar, see?
It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was.
But once we got inside, God blimey lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room.
The back of rooms.
We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside.
We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just lived after that, nice and quiet.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. A terrifying coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot.
The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. Who, brother? The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within only the victim and the accused were found. Locked room mystery.
I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course. Counsel, if you please. Counsel?
Yes. What's the matter, Runo? Sorry, hi. I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by that pair on the stand. I know that it's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I'll just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is. Unfortunately, I don't think your account is going to count as evidence because this whole court is fucking biased.
Who was walking?
I need to examine the evidence before I do anything else. So let's see here. Autopsy report. Reporting party. Hey, that's me. Single bullet found in upper half of victim's back. No other visible signs of trauma. Instant death from a posterior anterior bullet wound to the heart. Died instantly. Crime scene photograph. That ain't good, right? Crime scene. The gun. This is Mr. Windybank's gun. The cylinder is completely empty. Mr. Windybank always used to keep his gun to hand on his shop counter. Yes, but only ever with a single bullet loaded, I understand. That's right, to keep all the pawned articles that were in his chaos safe. But his one bullet was fired that night, and the poor man lost his life. Was he protecting his shop, I wonder? Trying to keep the article safe? You know, you could have just used a Derringer. But to save more space. Barrel. Oh, what? It's the same shit? Come on. Is there any other information aside from the chamber? Okay, I think that's it then. Nothing of interest.
We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours at the gift store was ajar, see?
The front door of Windybank's was ajar, you say? What time of night was this?
Must have been about 1. Right, Ringo?
Yeah, I'd say so. Right, Selkie?
How would I know? The place would have been shut at 1 in the morning. At 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town.
Well, it was pitch black inside, it's true. Ain't that right, Ringo?
I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light button inside. What about you, Selkie, me old mucker?
Leave me alone. I feel real bad for Gregson at this point. There definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place. And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of a gun trained on the unfortunate victim. Man, now I want fish and chips wrapped in a newspaper. That is pure conjecture. Objection, conjecture, objection. Inconjecture, objection. Perhaps, but it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside.
Right, that's what happened.
It was like some kind of sign begging for us to go in, it was.
Door was ajar. Let me look at that. Look, the door was locked.
Was?
Once we got inside, call blimey lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room.
See what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. Oh, wait. Oh, the front door was ajar.
But once we got inside, we heard a gunshot from the back room.
A gunshot, you say? Just the one. Are you sure about that?
Yup, just the one, Governor. I can swear to that.
It was, Nash, it was. Ain't that right, bruv?
The firearm used belonged to the victim himself. Yes, Mr. Windybank always used to leave his gun lying around on the counter. Right, I remember.
When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds.
That makes sense. Mr. Windybank always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded. That's true. I remember him saying that as well.
So we can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon.
Yes, my lord, we can.
And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused. Wonderful.
We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. But the door was locked from the inside. Hello, governor!
Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom? If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. Man, fuck you. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street, there is only one other door, that of the storeroom.
Of course, there was only one little oil lamp burning. Not much to say by.
And the door was in behind a curtain and all.
That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door?
Eh?
Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I should think.
Oh, well, your turn to rub it, Ringo.
Well, Nash, yeah. I suppose you'd have to say that we ain't normal, eh?
Broadly speaking, humans respond in one of two ways on hearing a gunshot or scream. The timid flee, gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. Fight or flight instinct. These gentlemen are of the latter inclination. My learned Nipponese friend, it would seem, is of the former. Alright, somehow I just proved that I was a coward that night. Wait a minute. Timid flee, but the... Fuck you!
So I believe you all understand that the door was locked and could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses. We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that, nice and quiet.
You didn't do or take anything. Is that your story?
Well, it was bedlam soon as, wasn't it?
It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out of me Lucy lockets.
So, with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left nice and quietly, you say.
That's right, Governor. Nothing we ain't more than violence. Peace-loving nibbles we are, not bludgers.
We are, Nash, we are. Never even pulled me dukes out me Lucy lockets.
So, you'd clearly like us to believe.
Come again?
As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person?
Saints alive, they fired a gun, you say?
Gah!
Oh, blimey, Governor!
You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway?
It was, and you just admitted your guilt! To, a unrelated crime, not the crime that this trial is for.
Why the bleeding Nora?
Didn't you mention that before?
You were armed with a gun! And as you fled the scene, you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Herlock Sholmes! They shot the great Mr. Sholmes? I did hear that, actually. There was a rumor he'd been rushed to hospital. The great Sholmes? That's beyond the pale.
On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. and when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. I demand that the firearm be considered be admitted as evidence. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it.
They are flabbergasted. The prosecution advised his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers.
Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel.
What is it, like a front-loading musket?
The court will hold this weapon as evidence.
The Skocum brothers' gun has been entered into the court record. Now, my learned Nipponese friend. Yes? Here's to you successfully presenting the evidence.
Oh, thank you.
For yes, there are the telltale signs of spent powder on this gun and a single bullet missing from the cylinder, but the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene from the crime under scrutiny in this trial.
Gladly. Oh, wait. Well, I don't need evidence. Because I was there!
However, the rest of us in that courtroom were not.
Ah.
If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on.
Okay. Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Windybanks that night. Let me examine the... Wait.
Oh. Oh, shit.
The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the pawnbroker's shop that night?
Okay, first I gotta examine the gun. So, there's ammunition still loaded in 5 of this revolver's 6 cylinders.
Yes, which tell us that only a single shot has been fired from it.
Exactly.
The bullet that hit Hurley, in fact, isn't it?
Yes, it happened almost as soon as we'd walked in through Windybank's door. So...
I'll make those brothers pay.
So, it wasn't this gun that shot... So, it wasn't this gun that did the deed, unfortunately. Because only 1 bullet was fired. So that 2 bullets... shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm. Okay, it's this. This right here. The evidence is in this portfolio.
What on earth have you there, counsel?
During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of bloodstains.
Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do. How arrogantly Nipponese of you.
Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio.
And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein?
Yes, my lord.
No more dalliance then, counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene?
Oh, it was this.
What is that? Explain!
It's a photographic print taken at Windybank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident.
From the scene of the crime, is it? And is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there.
Yes, as your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Mr. Windybank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death.
The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot has been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th.
That's right. And while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbrokers that night.
Order! How's the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zieks?
If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection.
What?
But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes.
How many hallowed chalices have you thrown at this point?
Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street.
Take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna let us in the soup.
We had a deal. You weren't gonna get into them details. Tell him, Sulky. Tell the bloke. Set the bloke straight.
I have nothing to add.
So he knew, didn't he? Van Zeeks knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes.
It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude.
What do you mean?
What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact.
To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zeeks?
As has been established at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brother's gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim.
Ah! Knew it.
In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windybank at all.
So that's it.
That's it. We didn't have nothing to do with that. We didn't, Nash. We didn't. That's what I reckon.
Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let us not forget attempted murder.
Quite a catalog, eh, fellas? Ah. We're in for it now, bruv.
Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. It would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly.
Where's he going with this?
Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric? Says who? Not me. Don't give me that look.
He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop.
Oh! That's one of Halley's red-handed recorders.
What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption.
As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device.
Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed.
Oh.
The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question.
Nothing so far. Nothing so far. Nothing so far.
As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in a quite desultory fashion.
Yeah, but they could have, like, gone in between those half-hour intervals.
Rather prodigal, I feel.
In fact, there are two such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here.
You say these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals.
One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord.
Burglars don't tend to do that.
On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera.
That's a bit of friar talk, eh, bruv? Lady Luck loves a skulking.
Witnesses, at what time did you trespass and begin?
Must have been just after 1, right, bruv?
Must have been, Nash, must have been. Yeah, just gone 1.
In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment, what scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence.
Good Lord! It's the defendant! Miss Gina Lestrade!
As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured, gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter, no doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom.
Quite, one can only too easily imagine the events had unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence, if you please, counsel.
I don't believe it. Ginny! Oh god, this is a better voice for Iris.
In short, the accused is the only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Windybank.
Gah! I say, my lord. Who says that?
Oh, wonder if I might put in a word at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Took a bally bullet to the knee in the Battle of Maiwand in 1880, don't you know? Decorated for it and all, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, a medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us in the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is the point? Carrying on the battle after retirement, you see? The battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now, leading this small squadron, 6 men, all good in shoe. I'm not a man. And we'll all go down together, you mark my words. One for all and all for one.
Aye, aye, aye. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we are to understand?
Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct?
In a matter of speaking,
Sorry, in a matter of speaking, yes, that is the Ghirram Squadron's position, sir.
What? No, it's too soon to make a judgment here.
Status report for the court, men, on the double.
His lordship insists on promptitude at all times, and that goes for making decisions too. Sorry, and that goes for making decisions too. I think you'll find the truth as clear as daily data. I could reach out and touch it.
I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember.
Situation clear. Stop. No room for doubt. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop. I am very sorry for your brothers. They are unlucky.
Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her opinion in this matter. Announce your considered verdicts to the court.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Oh, that's what he sounds like.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Yeah.
Objection! Summation examination! Summation examination! Summon the mammoth!
It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous in its leaning already.
That photograph. It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned.
But Ginny didn't shoot him.
No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination.
Very well, the court grants permission.
So, you refuse to admit defeat again. How unsurprising.
Yeah, well, it worked for me the last 2 times, didn't it?
We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman, are all members of the jury ready?
Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
All right, 12 Angry Men sequence. Or 4 angry men and 2 angry women. The jurors' contentions.
All the evidence clearly points the finger of guilt at this young pickpocketing.
Pickpocketing.
Barleythine.
As a housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated. I think you'll find that if you look at the photograph in stereo, the truth will just pop out.
If I've left it in there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now.
I'm so many questions about that guy. It's like, oh look, kitty cat photograph. That's the same gun. I don't notice anything of note of difference here. Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission of verdict to follow. Stop. In Motherland, we never judge by clothes, judge by hit. I am convinced brothers are innocent.
The circumstance of the crime and evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively.
The storeroom locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone. And in the accused's hand, the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by these witnesses. Not to mention this print. Taken from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield. That young girl's on the bulge and pulling the bally trigger. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh dear. These cameras were supposed to help, not hinder.
I'm about to update the autopsy report. Runa,
I'm afraid you'll have an uphill struggle ahead of you. My accents are mixed.
I'm afraid you'll have an upcoming... Blah, blah, blah.
But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windybank. Which means there's more to this situation that we've yet to see.
Agreed.
You have the floor, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
Okay.
All the evidence clearly points to the finger killed at this young pickpocket time.
You're Mr. Natsume's landlord, Mr. Garrett, aren't you? Maybe you must stop meeting like this.
Oh, you're that lawyer chap. Well, there's the time for the books. Yes, rather a turbulent time we had back then.
Some extraordinary events took place at your house, that's for sure. Luckily, Mr. Sholmes and I were able to get to the bottom of it all. I think we did rather a lot for you, didn't we? I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be suggesting that, therefore you should change your lead to not guilty or anything.
Can't be denied, I suppose. The curse of the Garrett house was the talk of the town after that business.
Law just moved out, and I couldn't get a bally soul to take up the tenancies. Oh. Get a real job.
Haven't had the heart to break out the news to Johnny yet. Bad enough that the old Gus cracked up.
Yes, can't be denied. You did do rather a lot, but not for us, that's dashed certain. I suppose not. Of course! Can we end this conversation, please?
There can be no suggestion of that being the reason I'm leaning towards guilty here. Obviously.
Obviously. But honestly, I wish you'd pay more attention to the trial and less to juror number 2. He's looking for a new maid.
As a housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated.
Polishing the bench, I see. Again.
A maid's work is never done. Not a blemish must remain.
What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores?
On my way to market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pickpockets, and crossmen, the scum of the earth.
A little harsh, perhaps.
Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those back slums would be made spick and span or eradicated. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals.
You're referring to Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
That's right, I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading March magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London's streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital.
Mr. Sholmes, a maid.
It's really quite unforgivable. Gutter scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective.
Minor detail, it was the 2 brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant.
A minor detail indeed. They're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned.
Well, just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyway.
Yes, all right. I shall amend my statement.
Oh, we're getting somewhere. Swing for shooting the great detective. Oof.
I think you'll find that if you look at that photograph in stereo, the truth will just pop out.
What do you mean, look at the photograph in stereo?
Sorry, what? Don't you know? If you look at the photographic print normally, it looks as though the pickpocket girl is about to shoot the victim, obviously. But there's no indication that the defendant ever fired the gun. All I'm saying is that if you look at the same print in stereo, it could reveal all sorts of new information.
Yeah, but the technology ain't there yet. By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes?
Ooh, how did you know?
Let's call it a lucky guess.
It never gets old seeing 2 prints merge into one before your eyes. It's extraordinary. It's captivating. It's the height of modernity.
This guy's gonna lose it when videos get invented. Of course.
Oh yes, I think you'll find that the stereoscope is here to stay.
giving us new perspectives we could only dream of before. It's the greatest invention the world has ever seen. If only it could give me a new perspective on this case, I might agree with you.
If I've left it in there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now.
What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? Keep talking about having left something somewhere or something like that.
Ah, so sorry. As you can probably tell, I'm a surgeon.
A surgeon? That totally passed me by.
Of course, people conducting surgery in this country are considered to be doctors. Oh no. Even though me and my kind are at the forefront of medical science, the real brains in the field.
So, what is it that you think you've left behind?
Well, that's a little embarrassing, to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday. Started thing went in through the abdomen. But when I'd finished the procedure, I couldn't find my scalpel anywhere.
What? Did he? Surely not.
Exactly, surely not, you say to yourself. Don't you worry, isn't it? That's what's been troubling me all this whole time. Could I really have left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? No, of course I couldn't. So, there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really.
That's one way of putting it. The other is manslaughter. Man's laughter.
That's exactly my concern, and seeing as this case appears to be all but sewed up, I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what I've sewed up elsewhere. No, I'm sure I've made everything was back as it should be. Well, as sure as you can be without being sure.
I'm sure you need to be more sure. Mind made up, stop. Global radio transmission of Vedic to Fellow, stop. Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean? Are you from the Far East? Stop. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete their journey. Ah, but now we have the electric telegram, so we can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds, connecting the entire world. Are those the cables that they are those cables still there? Or were they, like, repurposed for internet? I gotta look into that. Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed? Makes my head hurt just thinking about it. You are well informed, young lady. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop. And just when I was starting to catch up. Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carried over airwaves to 4 corners of globe. Stop. Excitement grown. Stop. Atmosphere electric. Stop. Right. Try not to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope with the high-tech technology. What other piffle? I can't understand it. I really can't. They're all just... Ooh.
Excuse me.
Juror number 3. Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but... What? Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess. Oh, you bet I do. Say that again. Go on, I dare you. Goodness, are you talking to me? I think it just might be, yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you? Huh? Absolutely. I mean, really. A machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions. Why on earth would you not just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. You just don't know. Pardon? I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope... I'm not doing this one. I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. What sort of possibilities? What sort of demonstrations? Well, take a crime scene, for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you've never even noticed before. What? Have you got any, Runo? Any prints we could look at with a stereoscope? Yes, as a matter of fact. How about this print here? It should do the trick, I think. This one.
Take that.
Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any two suitable photographic prints? Of course I can. Very well then. I'd like you to demonstrate. I'd be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all. Oh, shoot. Okay. Oh. I know there's another photograph somewhere. Damn it! That's that. Oh. Gina's representation papers. There was the other photographs. Damn it. Let's look at today's paper. Poor fucker. Damn. I don't have another... No, wait. Oh, man. I can't.
Take that!
Wait, sorry? What do you mean, one more print? Oh dear, don't you have these in the Far East? Don't you know how a stereoscope works? Bruno, what?
You need 2 photographs for a stereoscope, remember?
Yes, like the Kit Kat.
You know, one for the left eye and one for the right.
I can't go cross. Maybe if I just press my face up against the screen, I'll be able to see it. But pawnbroker is just a normal photograph. No, I think you'll find that the clue is in the name. It's a stereoscope, not a monoscope. You always need 2 prints. Thanks for the friendly explanation.
Well, if we obtain another print at some point later in the trial, we can always show it to this young man then. Ha ha ha!
I think you'll find that know-it-all expression is really starting to annoy me.
Wait. Let's get things back on track, shall we, Council?
A slightly different location, you could see the scene in 3 dimensions.
Hold it!
Please tell me you're not Violent Bolshevik. The Russian revolutionary? Revolutionary? He's a communist! Duh, I believe there is such a rumor. It's just a rumor.
As you see, I have unfortunate appearance. I look like vicious criminal.
Your words, not mine. You just want to point that out.
People call me revolutionary, murderer, autocrat, communist. And which glove fits? Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Right. That didn't sound staged at all.
You'll forgive me for having my doubts.
To be treated like a vicious criminal all the time. It is very painful. People do not realize. So I have much sympathies for these brothers. People say they are criminals only because of how they look. The Skulkin brothers. Maybe they went inside pawnbroker's shop. But they have done nothing wrong. That is all what I want to say. The Skulkin brothers did nothing wrong that night. Alright, well, first of all, that's one not so little misunderstanding I'll need to clear up straight away. Tell me something, Iris.
What is it, Bruno?
The jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London Town, aren't they? Hark!
Yes, it's amazing, isn't it?
In that case, how's that there's a Russian tourist sitting among them who looks for all the world like a revolutionary?
I wish I knew.
I can't change the minds of more than half of these 6 jurors. The trial will be over.
But we know that Ginny would never shoot anyone.
Yes, so we need to find contradictions in what these jurors are saying and pit them against each other. I must be ready to go to whatever lengths I have to convince them of Gina's innocence. Okay. Maybe... blood samples. Wait a minute. Okay, so there's that. The poses are identical, so maybe we could compare the two. Okay, first of all, I got. Okay, I think I'm onto something here. Come on, come on. So I can't present something yet. Come on, come on.
Take that!
I was wrong. I can't actually think of anything we could use at all. Fuck me. It was worth a shot. Well,
Objection!
those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good lord! Counsel, explain yourself.
Oh my statement contradictory.
Contradict. Ah, riff-raff, street rat, what you looking at? You a problem? Ah?
Juror number 6, you've got the wrong end of the stick.
I do not have stick. I have mouse.
As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene on the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand. You can't... Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear.
Abdomen.
Sir?
Sorry. My English is still learning.
Oh, you are telling the court you didn't hear. Sheesh. Yawning like crazy.
Forgive me, I did not hear.
Ugh.
Ah, here is word abdomen, part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say it plain English. I am Russian, not native speaker.
Who thought I was a good idea to let this man be on jury again?
So, you are telling me these brothers, who look like criminals, were lying? They said before, we never done nothing, but truth is, they shot detective. Duh, this is double negative.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by person who looks like criminal.
Please don't squeeze that mouse. Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced.
This means, when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also big fat lie. Is this true?
Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so...
Enough. I trust no one now.
It's not the mouse's fault, though, sir.
I must see with own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Yes, it is, Reno. Easily. Sorry? Don't say it. With the prints from Hurley's red-handed recorder. Ah. If you compare the print that pictures Genji and the next print for half hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cooey, Mr. Prosecutor! Calling on the prosecution in the middle of submission examination of all times. The print showing the accuser threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Yes, but I want to see another print. The print from a half hour later. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later, after the brothers' flight. So this was taken after Hurley was shot, then? As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken. That does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. So, the brothers who look like criminals were told only one lie. They shot man, but they stole nothing. It would seem so, yes. Good. No, not good. You were right. I did not understand the situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue with trial. Huh, that was easy. Yay! Well done, Runo. The bell balance is shifting. Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what these jurors are saying that I can use to expose the truth. If I can do that, we might just turn the situation to our favor still. Use the fucking...
Thank you, counsel. Continue with the summation examination. And kindly hand that new photographic print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence.
Oh, finally. Another print in the court record. I wonder if we can make use of that. Oh, I wonder what if. Okay.
Hold it!
Blah, blah, blah.
Take that!
This one. Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying we can blah, blah, blah? One more print and I'll amaze you all.
Take that!
Okay. Alright. These 2 prints were both taken with the same camera in Windy Banks on the night in question. Same angle. Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer? Do you know how stereographic images work? Do you understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson on it yesterday. The left and right images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in the precisions of some objects. Oh, then when your brain merges the 2 images together inside your head, it notices the shift as if it were depth. Yes, exactly. It's that small shift between certain objects in the 2 pictures that's really important. So what happens if you use 2 photographs that are exactly the same then? No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the scene 3-dimensionally anyway. Oh, of course, now I see. Ah, I think the young girl has discovered the secret. I have. Don't do that. Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me? Your face will Have a look at these 2 pictures from Pearlie's camera. Bruno, go on. Okay. Oh, almost got it. Almost. Nope, can't do it. Can you see there's a really obvious difference between them? Of course there is. There are 2 people in the first and no people in the second. Well, yes, you can't see that straight away. But now, try looking at the pictures in 3 dimensions. Alright, I'll give it a go. So, to start with, you have to cross your eyes. Can't the game just merge the picture? Can't the game just merge it for me? Why do I have to do this shit? I can't do it. I can't cross my fucking eyes. I'll just have to... Let's see. You got kitty cat. We got doggy. We got... Let's see if by crossing my eyes I can make the quill pens from each picture overlap in the middle. Come on. Do I have to be closer? It's not working, man! Wait. This is horseshit. Well, didn't manage to see it properly, so I'll just say pretend I did. What's going on with these 2 pictures? Oh, finally! Some of the things on the counter they sort of jump out at you. Yes! That's it, you see? That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes. Other amazing power?
Is someone going to explain this?
Black magic, eh? That definitely would have been... This definitely is more satisfying on the 3DS.
Why the deuce do some of the things on the counter seem to jump out at you like that,
Oh, darn. I think finally, if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question. Basic principles of the stereoscope. As I've said before, if you try to look at the 2 identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's the slight shift of the positions of certain objects that lets you see pictures 3-dimensionally. In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the 2 pictures, this shows that actually there must have been a slight shift in their positions. Nope, still can't do it. Yes, there must have been.
Now hold the fire there, sir. on a reasonable grasp of this whole cross-eyed business now, I say. But why the devil does this shift between two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master.
What? Me? I haven't the first idea. You know, Runo, it's quite simple.
It is?
Just think it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 a.m. Then, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. But the position of some items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means that sometime in the half-hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things on the counter.
Zookers.
Someone tampered? New information. Stop. Now, mentioned in testimony so far. Stop.
Yes. And we've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems. But I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom?
Are you suggesting you might know?
Of course. I can tell you right now who was responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter. Well, it had to have been these fuckers. Oh no, who do I... It was him.
Take that!
It was the witnesses currently in the stand. The Skulkin brothers. Okay, so was no one on answer of picking them.
Wait, this does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They said they did not even have time to pull Dukes from Lucy lockets. My phrasebook says Dukes is made in hats, and Lucy lockets is made in pockets. But this is another lie? Is this what you are saying?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Now, hold on there a minute. You can't be sure of that.
I quite agree. The accused is a common pick purse, after all. It's perfectly plausible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal.
I think that's unlikely.
And why exactly?
As you can see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windybank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interests lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony.
But the accused is a pick purse, common gutter trash. Why look any further for the wrongdoing here?
Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madame. No better, in fact worse, than the pick purse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she's a pickpocket, would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by two thieves?
Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more from that shady pair.
Can you all see now? I think you'll find stereoscopes on playthings. You've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand. Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Much persist after trial. Stop. Will return home via Regent Street. Stop.
Well, it would seem this trial has yet to run its course. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call the summation examination to conclusion with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 lean to guilty, 4 lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus, and I order this trial to continue.
Yay, well done. Oh, by the way,
What?
you should hold on to this, Runo. You never know when it might come in useful.
Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely. But alright. Stereoscope has been entered into the court record.
Lord Van Zeeks, you will instruct the witness that the court demands additional testimony from them.
I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord.
Oof. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night, at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. Okay. That was intense.